Welcome back to Phil Screams Podcast. Today we'll be talking about Hellraiser 5 Inferno. This is the fifth Hellraiser movie that we've covered, and I gotta be honest, if there's one thing you can't knock them for, they've all been different so far. The vibes and everything, they're completely switched up. Now this one we follow around Detective Thorne. Detective Thorne, he is not a good guy. They established that right in the beginning of the movie. I'm pretty sure he does drugs. At home, he has a family to where his daughter cries for him like every night. And he's like, I can't stay. I have another case. And even his wife is like, please just come to bed with me. And his wife is a pretty decent looking lady, but he's like, no, I gotta go. And then the first thing he does is he goes and he picks up a prostitute. And we kind of have some internal monologue going, and he's like, listen, I can't tell her. It would break her. And it's like, dude, what is wrong with you? Detective Thorne does like puzzles, and the very opening scene did make me laugh because the movie opens up with him playing chess, and of course he wins, and the person's like, oh, you got me again. And he's like, I'll be back another day. Maybe try to beat me this time. And it's supposed to show you that he's very smart. He loves puzzles. It's a very direct reference right from the get-go. Now, after this film establishes that he's not a good person and he's terrible to his family and that he loves puzzles, we do get introduced to the puzzle box very early. He messes around with it, though a weird thing is, he doesn't even solve it in this movie. Like other movies, you literally see them solving the puzzle box, and then it's like, oh, they're coming. But he just kind of messes with it for a little bit, and the puzzle box solves itself, which I thought was really interesting. Another crazy thing is, there's not a whole lot of Cenobites in this movie. Though the very first time to where the twin demon ladies like crawl out of the ceiling, I actually found that very good. I was like, oh, that's like creepy how they're just peeking out and they slowly climb down. But then they show you kind of a scene of they like start to rub his chest, but their hands go inside of his chest. But Detective Thorne's enjoying it. So I was like, I don't know if we're supposed to think like they're torturing him or if this dude just has like a weird thing going on. And he's like, oh yeah, it feels good. But it doesn't look painful from how he's acting. And then there's another Cenobite that's like a chatterer, but it's like crawling around the floor during that scene. But after they like rub the inside of his chest for about 5 minutes, he's like, wait a minute, this is terrifying. And he tries to run away. I mean, a common theme in this movie is Detective Thorne is just toxic to everyone around him. I mean, even his partner, his partner's a good dude. And there comes a point to where the prostitute that Detective Thorne keeps buying, one of the Cenobites like mess her up, they kill her, and he's like, oh my god, like this is a huge mess. So Detective Thorne takes his partner there, and he's like, listen, like there's some sketchy stuff in this apartment. And the partner's like freaking out, like, oh my god, what happened? And like during this entire scene, Detective Thorne's like spreading his partner's stuff around the apartment room just to frame him for whatever reason. But yeah, the partner, I think he's almost like considering like trying to help Detective Thorne like cover it up. But he's like, I don't know, man, like this is weird. And like you were like pretty far on the inside. I don't know if I can do this. And Detective Thorne's like, well, listen, your cigarettes were like along the bed. So it looks like you were there. But I'm going to act like I'm covering it up for you, so you can thank me for that. And the partner's like, what the heck? Are you kidding me? And he's like, yeah, no. So don't tell anyone, because I'm framing you. And then like that actually works, and he gets away with it for a while. Now, for as careful as Detective Thorne is during this scene, because like he cleanses the whole place and then frames his partner, but the partner still like travels around with him, even though he's like mad at him. But like he's still a good dude, and he's like, whatever, I'll try to help you. And Detective Thorne's just like going off the wall. But like from the middle of the movie to the end, Detective Thorne just does not have a care in the world if he looks suspicious. They keep getting these videotapes, and the videotapes like show Detective Thorne what's going on. There's like one time where he's like in a Chili's or just a normal restaurant, and he takes the videotape and puts it into one of their TVs, and it's like someone just getting dismembered, and it's just standing there like, whoa. And he like takes it to the police force, and they're like, nothing's on this tape. and it just makes him seem even crazier. But he doesn't try to backtrack or anything. He's like, well, I'm pretty sure the guy who hangs out... By the way, there's a character who hangs out in an ice cream truck, but it's like pictures of naked women everywhere. And I'm pretty sure he hit something like some younger girls, so I don't know what to make of it. But Detective Thorne, he sees him get killed. And he goes, well, let's go to this ice cream truck. I'm pretty sure he's killed here. And so the police force goes, and of course, like, he's brutally murdered. And they were looking for something. I think like it was his fingers. And they're like, where could it be? And he goes, I know where it's at. And he pulls it right out without even hesitating. And some of the cops are like, wait, how did you know that was there? And he's like, no time to explain. And it's like, dude, you are not doing yourself any favors. Throughout this entire movie, it kind of has a grungy feel. It almost feels like a Saw movie, but not as well put together. Like someone tried to make a Saw film before Saw was made, and they came up with like this little movie. That's exactly what it feels like. Everything just feels dirty. Everything feels tainted. And I feel like it works for like a Hellraiser film. I'm sure some people are mad about there not being as many Cenobites though. Even though Detective Thorne is oblivious in this movie to how guilty he's acting, I do find the story kind of entertaining. I kind of like the crime thriller aspect that it has going. And there's just like a hint of Cenobites popping in here and there. There is a really weird part to where he goes to this place, and it's full of like cowboys, and like two cowboys, they're like kung fu cowboys, and they literally just beat the snot out of them, and then like nothing really follows after that. And I was like, what was the deal with the cowboys? Like, everything was explained except that. Like, I have no idea why we have kung fu cowboys in this movie, but I don't know. It was just one standout weird scene, and it's in there. I did feel like the end of this film, I feel like it carried on a little too long. Like, I get they were trying to reveal that it was his own personal hell, but there was just a lot of reveals there, going from like his family to seeing his wife and child frozen, his therapist turning out to be Pinhead or the engineer. And by the point it starts revealing all that, I didn't need all of those reveals. Like, you could just did one or two of them and then moved on. But I do like the reveal that, like, it is his personal hell. And by the end of it, like, it's looping. That was a cool effect that they did at the very end. I do feel like this movie works really well as a sequel to Hellraiser. Just because we have the first one, which is like a pretty tight story. And then we have the second one, which expands it. And then the third one, like, expands even more. And it kind of gets, like, a little too wild. And then we get to number 4, which, like, the scaling is just ginormous. Like, you're time hopping from 3 different periods. And by the time you get to this 5th one, you're like, I'd really like it to be dialed down a little bit. Like, we need a tighter story. And I feel like this one really does bring that. I mean, the main character is a terrible person, but I mean, like, that's the whole point of the film. Like, he's living in his personal hell. So I feel like you can't get that mad about it. Would it have been a little nicer if he had a little more redeeming qualities? Yeah. But I think they just want you to like the ending that he's in his hell by the end. So that's why they make him how he is. One surprising thing is this is directed by Scott Derrickson. I almost forgot to mention that. Because I saw that and I was like, oh wow, the maker of Sinister and The Exorcism of Emily Rose and Black Phone, like, all those movies are really good and really well polished. Is this movie as good as those? No. But I didn't expect it to be either. I mean, like, I constantly hear the stories of Hellraiser has chaotic, weird sequels. But I will say this movie, like, I did enjoy it. Like, I didn't hate it. It was kind of fun, and it never felt like it went on too long or it didn't really drag. And I was just curious as to what was going to happen. We got Kung Fu Cowboys out of nowhere. Overall, just say in terms of the review, I think it's a fun watch, and if you're kind of wavering on, should I watch a Hellraiser sequel or not, this one is worth visiting. I do think so. Again, it has vibes of Saw in it. Scott Derrickson directed it, and again, it's fun. Like, it's a very tight story, and it goes all the way to the end. It is going to be difficult when I get to the ranking episode, though, because I feel like the past couple, there's been, like, parts where I'm like, oh, I like this aspect. but this, or oh, I like this, but this part I kind of didn't care for. In this one, like the one big criticism is there's just not a lot of Cenobites. But I think that can be more forgiven than some of the other sins that I've criticized the other sequels of doing. We're going to watch Hellraiser 6. I think that's Hellseeker coming up soon, so we'll see how that one goes. But overall, like, I'm not tired of the franchise. We're at the 5th one, so that's good. That's good. So we're going to cover Hellraiser 6 next time, so you'll have that to look forward to. If you can give this video a like, it gets it out to other people, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. And again, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, guys.